This cloth is quite simply made for you. Believe me, no other woman in the city could carry it with more majesty and elegance. That saffron color so harmoniously matches your skin. Truly, you will make Venus herself green with envy. Feel how smooth, how soft it is? Believe me, this material has no equal in all of Pompeii.
Greetings, woman. My name is Adrian, Papidius's guest. He has advised me to come and see Eumachia on his behalf on an urgent matter. Where can I find her?
My mistress is busy and does not wish to be disturbed. I cannot go and tell her at the moment because I have to inspect their goods. The prices are too low and it's very suspicious.
Excuse me. I believe I know a way of proving that.
Well, Fuller, you were right. This cloth has no equal in Pompei. We have no more to do here, Sophia. Let us return to the house.
What does my slave have to tell me? Leave us, Caius. I shall deal with your matter later. Adrian, I thank you. It would appear that your host Papidius advised you to come and see me. What do you want from me? I cannot refuse any request from a friend of Papidius.
Who was that woman customer the fuller nearly robbed? And was the young girl accompanying her a slave?
That was Lavinia, Octavius Quartio's wife. The young girl is not a slave. She was freed by Lavinia's husband. Lavinia adores her.
I come to offer you the cargo of linen for which the merchant from Alexandria asked such a high price. I happen to have bartered it down to a very good deal.
Well, what a coincidence. I was very displeased to have let that one pass. How can I show you my thanks?
I have no political ambition, and my riches in Gaul are quite sufficient. I have dedicated my life to friendship. Papidius's son Secundus has become very dear to me. Whatever he suffers, I suffer also. He is greatly saddened by his electoral failure, and I would like to understand what happened. Yet when I ask the question, everyone suddenly looks very uncomfortable, and nobody will answer me.
That is indeed a very delicate subject. I have always refused to speak to Papidius about it, worried that he might get angry with his son. You see, it is all a matter of reputation. Julia Felix may be a woman, but she managed to gain a strategic role in the elections. We other women cannot vote nor take on a political career, but we can influence others, perhaps more than people think. Our reputation can thus be our greatest strength, or our Achilles' heel. The College of Isis often meets at the house of Julia Felix for ritual banquets. Her views on electoral matters are always noted, but she cannot make any mistakes. She has to preserve the reputation of Isis, whom many wicked tongues have previously called the go-between. She is therefore very careful to only support candidates of impeccable morals. As you know, the followers of Isis were supposed to be supporting Secundus, but public opinion often turns against the followers of Isis, and they are accused of all sorts of debauchery.
How could anyone question Secundus's morals?
That is the problem. How shall I say this? Not all followers of Isis are of good origin, and, well, a few somewhat shady characters who were great supporters of his candidacy wrote on the walls of several coponae. Secundus had the writing erased very quickly, but the damage was done. He became known as the candidate who had stooped the lowest. People write on walls during all campaigns here. When a person wants to support a candidate, they simply write his name on the wall of their house in the hope of getting him more votes. This graffiti is extremely important. It can make you a decurion or the town laughingstock. A virtuous woman cannot allow herself to speak of such places. To even mention their name under this roof is absolutely inconceivable. Caius, you can thank this man as your savior. He has just closed an exceptional deal for me, and I am no longer in the mood to drag you in front of the aedile. Come and see me tomorrow, and we will solve these matters.
Hey, you! I know how to give you thanks. I overheard the end of your conversation. I know who she was talking about. Go to the Capona of Dionysos, the freed slave of Lucius Vetutius Placidius on the Street of Plenty. You should find them there. What she could not tell you was that some low-rate whores, girls of the street who sell themselves for 4 sous, call for people to vote for Secundus. Ask Palmyra or Ferusa. They will explain everything to you, if you're lucky.
Oh, may the wicker of these baskets lacerate the fool who weaved them. May the stones of these olives choke him.
Do you know Sophia, the freed slave of Octavius Quartio?
Sophia? Oh, I have heard of her. Well, she doesn't come here, of course. But I see her go past, with her eyes to the ground, accompanying Lavinia, Octavius's wife. Lavinia adores her. She treats her like a daughter.
Do you know where I could find a woman of the streets people call Palmyre? Or another known as Ferusa?
Oh, I see, an orgy. Whoa! Well, for a stranger, you don't waste much time, and you're obviously well informed, too. Well, I'll tell you, Palmyra is not exactly from the top of the basket, but she's a great girl. She works for the love of her life, a gladiator by the name of Publius Ostorius, who's a free man, by the way. Well, she just happens to be here, in the back room, witnessing the ruin of a merchant.
What have these baskets done to deserve your abuse?
Well, they don't stand up properly, that's what they've done. You see, I have 2 baskets of olives that I put up there. I cannot leave them on the counter, or the first passer-by will pilfer them as soon as I went into the room to serve a customer. The problem is, I never know which one's full and which one's empty, and I spend all my time getting down one, then the other, and as they're not stable, half the time I knock them over.
There must be a way to solve that.
Oh, you're a real fine stranger. Look, let me get you a drink in the back room to thank you. But one word of advice. Don't get involved in their game. I think that rogue Lucius the painter's playing with loaded dice. Oh, Lavinia's a great lady. For example, Sophia is fond of dates. Oh, they're very expensive and very rare. The little freed slave girl would never usually have the chance to eat them, no. Well, whenever she can, Lavinia buys a little basket of dates for Sophia. I know because a friend of mine sells fruit at the market. He told me about it.
How can you spot loaded dice?
Oh, if you don't know about dice, it's simple. You can't spot 'em. You'll end up losing the tunic off your back. Now, you dig out the spots on a die and pour a bit of lead in. Then you cover the die in a little stucco, re-engrave it, and that's that. It's practically impossible to detect. Until it's weighed, of course. Well, well, the lucky messenger. I am very happy to see you, young protege of Pompeius.
Pompeius, what a small city this is. He's just asked me to restore his fresco.
So, that is why you bought my whole stock of Egyptian blue. Fate is a real joker. And talking of fate, I'm losing all my fortune. I seem to be playing against a real wizard. This man is constantly throwing 6s.
Back home, in Gaul, we have a trick for recognizing bewitched dice. I need the blind servant of justice. Wait a minute.
You rogue, villain, thief, scoundrel! Call the adil!
Wait, I have an idea that will please you both. So, Master, the dice are falling in your favor. I think it is only fair to change them for the next game, and if you will, I shall be your opponent.
Oh, ho, ho! Oh, that's a good one! Let me buy everyone a pitcher of warm mulled wine. Well, Adrian, thanks to you, I will remember this journey with a smile on my face and a full purse in my pocket. I am leaving this place of sin. Meet me at the baths. I would like to give you my sacred water. Keep this necklace from my country as a modest token of my immense recognition.
Adrian, I beg of you, it was just a game. I was going to give him his money back. I beg of you, do not denounce me. What can I do for you?
Tell me, you have agreed to restore Papirius's fresco, have you not?
No. With the works and the recent tremors, I can promise nothing, not even to Papirius.
What was this Egyptian blue the merchant talked of?
It is one of the rarest pigments there is. When somebody orders a fresco, the price we give includes the salary of our workers and all raw materials, primers and pigments. All that is, except for 2 types of pigment, red and blue. They're very expensive, and the customer always has to pay more for them. You know, that is also why we Pompeians like putting red on our walls. It's a sign of wealth, a kind of ostentatiousness, if you like.
Well, that's what you can do for me. You now have a priority customer, Papirius. You start tomorrow.
But that's impossible. I cannot.
I'll hear no more of it. That expensive blue, I would very much appreciate it if you offered as much as he wants of it to Papirius, for free.
Those cursed dice. Very well, I agree.
Oh, congratulations, Adrian. Papirius is right to have you as a friend. You can come back whenever you want.
Greetings, girl. Greetings to you, Palmyre.
Greetings to you, beautiful stranger. Apple of my eye, cutie pie, greetings.
Don't mistake my intentions. I come not as a customer, but for some information. I hail from Gaul. I'm a friend of Secundus, son of Papirius. Out of simple curiosity, and because he's dear to me, I would like to find out why he lost the elections, and...
Oh, what a terrible business. Ferouz and me, we just wanted to have a laugh. One of my lovers is a distinguished man, a free man who is an electoral agent. He comes here often to chat with us. He convinced us to support Secundus, and it seemed like a funny idea. It was the first time someone had asked us for our opinion on politics. We spoke about it to all the girls, and everyone wrote Secundus's name on the walls of the Capone. Believe me, we didn't want to embarrass him, and we certainly didn't want to make him lose the elections. Some of the girls are followers of ISIS, and they told me that Julia Felix would appreciate it if Secundus made a large donation to the temple. A move on his behalf would sort out everything and perhaps help him win the elections next year.
Here, sacred water from the Nile. I usually take a full amphora of it to the priests in the temple, but my boat is too full now. Keep it. It will bring you luck. Or give it to the next person to be honored by your goodness. If you happen to visit Alexandria one day, come and find Harpocrates. The time you decide to stay at my house will be like honey for my heart.
Pompeius, today has been wonderful. For Secundus, everything should be sorted out by the next elections, as long as he gives a donation to the Temple of Isis. But I think that a present to Julia Felix will be appreciated also. As he's not here, you could give her this beautiful necklace from Egypt on his behalf. She will give thanks for such a sign of loyalty. And so the painter will come tomorrow to begin work on your fresco. In fact, he offers you all the red and blue pigments you want for free, as thanks for the honor you give him by being his customer. Vulcan's furnace and the midsummer sun, the fires of my so loving heart, nothing and no one will ever put them out.
The floods of Zante cooled the boiling Achilles. The clear water of the nymphs and the sacred source of Dian soothe the burns of a loving heart.
Venus was born in the sparkling sea foam of graces. Helen on the ship of Paris glistened in the spray. Her golden head of hair shone with the ephemeral diamonds of dew.